when you're operating from a certain mindset that has been solidified within your neural network, like we spoke about in my last video, it becomes extremely easy to forget or to overlook how powerful this practice is and how to approach it in a way that is genuine. And that practice that I'm speaking about is called gratitude. I like to say appreciation. When you're deeply appreciative of the subtleties in your life, how often we tend to overlook, to push to the side the magnificence of life, even the little things. How often do we choose to look at the lack? Or are we attuned to a lack mentality as opposed to a mentality that is aware of the abundance of the blessings that we get to experience by simply being here? And not only this, by experiencing life in the ways that we are. If you're attuned to lack, if you're attuned to what you don't have and the reasons why you're not enough, it will become very depressing. It will be very challenging to be grateful. It is understandable to attune to a lack mentality when you are supposed to be taking care of yourself in certain ways, when you do not do what you know you must do in order to be healthy, in order to show up for the life that you have created for yourself, knowingly or unknowingly. Some people are of the mind that life is happening to them, and some people are of the mind that life is happening for them. What is the difference? To operate from the premise that life is happening to you is to truly believe that you do not have control, that you are not the one who is creating the experience, and oftentimes to believe that you are not responsible for the life experience that you are having, simply because of the fact that you don't enjoy it or you are not appreciative of what you are experiencing. There is always something to be grateful for, always, and it can be as simple as the breath. Imagine if in this moment you lost your ability to take a breath in, or you lost your ability to breathe out. How terrifying that would be. How excruciatingly painful that would become. And our bodies would immediately fight to survive, because we are designed to survive. That is what our body does. Some people become very upset when they attempt to commit suicide and they fail. Why is it that that happens? There is a part of you, oftentimes it is a very physical part of you, your vessel, that must survive. Sometimes it could be emotional too, mental, And ultimately, it's all connected. I say all that to express how valuable and how grateful you can be for the simple in-breath and the simple out-breath. If you are somebody who could care less if you take another breath, realize that you are on this channel, that you are watching this video, and it is not by accident, because it was always my intention for many years now to create videos for individuals who feel that way. I've often been fascinated by death and by not experiencing the immense suffering that comes with being depressed over a prolonged period of time, or witnessing things that cause pain that within my heart and my soul I could not accept. And in some cases it was because of what I was doing to myself. And in other cases it was things that I really didn't have control over. I was just aware of aspects of myself that I didn't understand. And I set forth on a quest, if you will, to understand these parts of myself so that I can create a solid foundation. I was looking for something, and what I found was what I was looking for was a solid foundation. And this is why I put links in the description. I would like for you to take a look there and just move intuitively. Choose what feels right. I can empathize with not being grateful for your next breath or for anything. Your body is not wired that way yet, and that's okay. You don't have to think that way. You don't have to be anything other than what you are at this time. And what I find is that to be fascinated by death, to be interested in something that is inevitable in our lives, there's nothing wrong with that. But we are not taught to experience that. We are taught to shy away from it, to be afraid. And perhaps that does not resonate with how you feel about it in your heart. You know, like thing 1 and thing 2 from Cat in the Hat. When you tell them not to do something or to do something, and they do the opposite, right? Or when you tell a child no and then they want to do it even more. I can kind of relate to that, where when you experience depression or you have suicidal thoughts, or you even just feel like an inclination to express them, even if you don't fully mean it. And then everybody worries or attacks you or doesn't even allow for that to be a possibility in a hypothetical sense. You're not even allowed to entertain the idea of it. The idea of something that is inevitable. It's a taboo. Now, I'm not saying go and act on that thought form, but I am simply reiterating how okay it is for you to feel the way that you do and to have those kinds of thoughts. And to really understand that when you have a thought pattern, a pattern of behavior, a pattern of thought form over and over again, if you watch my last video, it gets solidified into your nervous system. Your brain is malleable, and it attunes to this, it forms into this. Your thoughts materialize. And so, if the part of you that wishes to survive and wishes to experience joy is stronger, and you seek to nurture that on any level, perhaps you can start here and just becoming curious about that aspect of yourself without allowing the condemnation to get to your head. The condemnation that is prevalent within a society that does not necessarily understand that perspective and the open-mindedness to that perspective, to that curiosity, but simultaneously taking responsibility for the simple fact that when we approach this with an air of cynicism and anger, that this is going to affect our body naturally. It's okay to feel that way. I understand it. When I was depressed, I got to the point where I was like, you know what? This is who I am. I'm okay with that. So back to gratitude. Oftentimes when we experience life, whether we're happy or we're not, whether we're depressed or we're mentally sound, things can become overstimulating. We can get caught up in our minds, all the thoughts that flow through our minds. We don't have a moment to just appreciate what's actually happening, to actually be present with our experience, to appreciate the subtlety of life, to appreciate the way that the candle flickers, right? To feel, to sense. Not everything has to be so grandiose. So to become aware of why we're grateful and to turn that into a practice is so powerful. I'm so grateful for light. Light allows me to do so many things. I'm grateful for light because it allows me to explore myself in different ways. Lighting is everything to me. Like, you can make a list. You can make a list 1 to 10. But I'm the kind of person who I love light in such a way that I have to have the perfect lighting or else it don't feel right. Fluorescent lights, it reminds me of why I was so depressed. I don't like fluorescent light. White light's okay. This is all right. I usually like amber lights. I always put like a little cloth over my lights, be it that it's not, a fire hazard. I love candlelight. I like red light. It's all right. Red light's cool. I like green light. It sets a different tone and a different energy, and I feel it and I sense it. I'm able to paint. What could I paint if I couldn't see anything? What could we do without light, right? So there's so many reasons why we could be grateful for light. I'm grateful for my fingernails. How weird would it be if I didn't have fingernails? I can scratch myself if I have an itch on my back. And I got my stretches in, I can reach it. I'm grateful that I can stretch. It makes me feel so alive. I'm grateful for stretching because it allows my energy to flow. I feel more free. I feel more clear. I feel more open-minded. I feel less tolerant of bullshit because I'm more clear and open-minded. So just explore why you're appreciative of these little things. Take moments of pausing, of noticing the ways that we have acclimated to rushing through life, not taking a moment and allowing all of these streams of thought to drown out the peace, the stillness that allows us to relax our nervous system, to think clearly. So yeah, I trust that was helpful, and look at the description links. You might like what you see.